Okay, so as requested, I am the nightly photo booth. I'm going to be designing, as requested, a 90s themed photo booth package. So I'll go through the photo strips. I'll do a 2x6, I'll do a 4x6, and I'll do the start screen, which will be animated, and then animated screens for each photo that will be taken. So without further ado, let's jump straight into Canva and see what we do. So the most important thing to do is know the size of your iPad. So I've already created one of mine, so I already have the idea of what the sizes are. So I'm going to jump into my 80s dance party one that I've already done and you've seen online. And this is what I do, and thankfully for the new update with Canva, we can have multiple size documents within the one. It makes it so much easier. But what I also do is I make sure I add detailed notes to each size that I create, so I know when I go create a new one, I know exactly what I'm looking for. And this is how it kind of works. So I'll go onto the animated start screen, which is here, which is all just individual elements. And then if I click on the little three dots you'll see down the bottom there, I can click on my notes, and I've got my measurements here because this is what fits my iPad 12.9 Pro. So knowing that my width needs to be 1-112 and my height is 1-666, I'll create a new document with those measurements so then I can go from there. So let's start with the animated screen. So I'm going to create a new document. We're going to delete YouTube. We're going to go custom. And the width is 1,112. Oh, it doesn't like the commas, so we'll remove the commas. So we'll go 1112. And then we're going to go 1666. Oh, it doesn't like it in inches. I need to change it into pixels, sorry. So we'll go 1112 and 1666. So that's important. I probably should write that in my notes that it's in the pixels. So we'll create a new document. Ta-da! Now, I'm going to again write the notes in here so I know exactly what it is. So I'll go back to my 80s dance one and I'll edit this. So it's BX, and I'm going to copy that. I'll go into my new one, and I'm going to go to my notes, and I'm going to paste it there. This is just how I work so that I know exactly what I'm doing. And yes, I know it's Easter, but I'm going to have some little wine. I've got some bubbles here while I do this. It just helps me be creative. And the thing is, I actually don't need these because I'm not listening to anything, so I can take these off. Okay, so as requested was the 90s theme. So when I think about 90s, I'm going to think about did I have in the 90s? I had like Game Boys, Tamagotchis, oversized baggy jeans, I had hyper-coloured t-shirts. So just brainstorm and think about 90s. But Canva makes it really easy because I can click into the design template up here and just type in 90s. And we can already see we get some templates which kind of work. So I might see, you can see here, this 90s one here, I kind of use that for my 80s and just change it to be neon. So that's what I do, is I kind of come up with an idea for a template or something that I can see and go, you know what, that would work if I make my changes to it. So let's have a look here. We're going to do... I actually think I like the first one up here, which is this one, sorry, because this reminds me of 90s. So we're going to change this to say... back to the 90s. And you could leave the date in there if you wanted to, but I'm going to delete it. And the cool thing is, Ah, see, these are all, this is a background. So means that animating is going to be a little bit more difficult. So what I'm going to have to do is try and find these shapes separately, which is quite easy because look, circles, lines, squares, and a squiggle. We can do that. So let's go in here and let's go squiggle. Oh, look, it shows up there. Let's have a look. Is there anything in there that kind of goes with? I'm going to go graphics, and I always choose graphics just because the quality is way better. So let's, and the beauty is you can do whatever you want. It doesn't matter because it's, in the end, it's your design. So I'm actually going to take the color from here because I like that teal, and done. So don't worry about that it's overlaying like that, and you know, you can just play around with it really. And so I'm going to add in a circle, and look, I love that it takes the color, and then I'm going to place it over here, and I'm going to get the color from that. So again, I'm going to select, we're going to get the purple color, boom. Now I want that black around there, so I'm going to just duplicate this, and then I'm going to select black, and then position, I'm going to send back, and then I'm going to go into my layers, and I'm going to drag this here, and I'm going to select these two by holding shift on my keyboard, and then I'm going to group them. So now I've got them as a group. So the beauty of this is I can now holding command, or sorry, option on my keyboard. I'm a Mac user. I can click on that and drag it up. And now I've got multiple. So I don't have to create that design all over again. And I want it under this, so I'm just going to drag it down under here. Done. I want the squiggle again. I'm going to hold option and drag. And look at that. I've got it up there. Super, super simple. So then I'm just going to play around and do the same with the squares and the triangles. So we're going to go on here. We're going to look at the elements. Squares. Now, the 90s is all about sharp edges, so I'm going to select a square. I want the yellow. Again, I can just click because it already grabs it from the colors here. I'm going to shrink this down. If you hold shift on your keyboard, it allows you to keep it in its shape. And I'm going to put it here and just extend it. Perfect. I'm going to move it. I'm going to change that to black. Position. Drag it under the square. And then I'm going to position it where I want it. Like this. And again, I'm going to go into my positions, which I always find the layer panel in the side is really, really helpful. I wish there was a way to lock it there, but there's not. But I'm going to select these two and I'm going to group them again because I'm going to use them again. So now I've got this square that I can just pop where I like. And again, holding my option, I drag it up. I've got it there. And then I drag it here. I've got it here. And one more down here. So you can really save some time if you figure out how to copy and move things really, really quick. That's how I do it. It saves me so much time. So now we want a triangle. So we'll go in. The shape isn't popular there, so we'll go see all and have a little triangle. Perfect. We want it orange. Let's click this. And again, we're going to select the colors here. Select and orange. Bam. Again, we need to duplicate it because we want a black one. Bam, black. Now we're going to position underneath the triangle there. We're going to move it a little bit so it's just creating that. Whoop. We want to move it just a little bit. Is that kind of right? Yeah, I think that's all right. We're going to select them in the layer panel and we're going to group them. And then I'm going to move one here. I'm going to rotate. Position it. And the beauty is it doesn't have to be exact because at the end of the day, it's all up to what you want to do. I'm going to make it bigger because I kind of like this look. And then I'm going to just copy it. I've got it here. I've got one here. And I've got one here. And I'm going to send this one underneath like before. And as you can see, I've been able to take a design that I found, recreate it, And then all I have to do is I can apply some animation to it. So what I'm going to do, let's finish this off. So we want some more squares. We're going to click these and we're going to change them into rectangles. I'm going to make them a little bit skinnier. What I recommend doing, instead of rotating, because you won't get them matched up perfectly, select it. We want it to be the yellow because we want it to be like this here. I'm going to drag this here. I'm going to drag one more. And see how the little pop-up purple indicators indicate that it's evenly spacing, which is what you want. Again, shift on the keyboard, click, click. You can do this on your iPad or any other kind of device that you can access Canva on. Way easier on a computer. And then I rotate. And then I'm going to line these up. And then I'm just going to go to my position tab and pull them underneath again. Until I've got them where I want. Done. Okay, I like this squiggle, a thick squiggle. So let's see if we can find one of them. Click in here. I can go to my recent, which makes it so much easier. All. And let's have a look. Doesn't have to be the exact squiggle, guys. We can just mix and match whatever we want. Oh, look, this one is perfect. And then we just change it to the purple color. Click on here. We're going to select here. Purple. Bam. Done. Shrink it down. Let's rotate. Make it a bit bigger. Yeah, I put a square there. Oh, perfect. Now I'm going to copy this. And we're going to pop it down here. And just like that, you've kind of basically recreated the look. I'm going to pop these yellow ones up here and we're going to make them the blue colour that's just there. So we're going to select on these. We're going to click on this. We're going to copy this little light blue. We're going to rotate. So guys, whenever it comes to coming up with ideas, you've sometimes just got to think outside the box. And there's nothing wrong with what I'm doing, I think. I think, like, there's a reason Canva has all these really cool templates, and by all means, I think use them as much as possible. Is it copying? I don't know. Is it taking away creativity? I don't know. I don't think so. So look, I've got all the elements, but now I want that blue and white grid behind. So I'm going to type in here, blue, white, grid. And let's see what we get. Is there anything I like in there? Perfect, look at this. Now guys, this is a pro account. So look, in Australia, it works out to be $180 a year. For me, I think it's worth it. It might not be worth it to you, but you're going to get all the features that you need to create this. So I think, like, paying for the pro features is definitely worth it. So now I've got the grids. I'm going to select all three of these, and I'm actually going to click on here and go space evenly tidy up, and it lines them all together. I'm going to group them and see how that just blends perfectly. And then I'm going to duplicate. And I love this feature where once you get them lined up, you can select the group again by going here, going to the panel here, and we can copy again. It does take a bit of getting used to. And look, copy, copy. And obviously there's spaces. So beauty is I then drag my mouse, select them all, go into the position properties, and then I'm going to hold down Command on my keyboard and I'm going to unclick the ones that I don't want to move, which is quite a lot of them, because I only want the background panels. So now I can click on these and I'm going to go space evenly tidy up, boom, and then drag them back into position. And look at that. Then all I have to do is send it back to the background. Oh, it looks like we got a bit of a space issue here. So let's drag this up. until you kind of get it matched. And it just takes a little bit of fiddling around, I think. So I'm going to zoom in so I can see it. So you can see here I'm zooming in. Let's click on and match that up as best as I can. Yep, cool. Now I can zoom out. And how's that looking? Oh, it's still got some gaps down the bottom here. What's going on? So zoom in. So sometimes you might have to click on one above. And you can see that there's some weird little gaps here. So I'm just gonna... Perfect. Perfect, no more gaps. I'm gonna zoom out. And then I'm gonna go on here, go into my positions. And you can actually group groups. So if I shift these, and then I'm gonna group, and then I'm gonna drag this all the way to the bottom. And look, there you go. I've literally recreated the 90s retro look that kind of reminds me of like a school backpack. I don't need this one, but let's throw it here. So I've got all my different elements, and then I want a button for tap the screen to start. So we can put in let's put in another shape. So let's go with, we'll go with a square. I'm going to put it here. I'm not sure about the color. I might change it. I'm going to change it here. Perfect. And then I'm going to select text. Let's have a look. Let's type in maybe 90s and see if we get any cool 90s font. So I'm going to say with this Let's Party is kind of cool, but I'm going to turn the effect and change it. I don't want it curved, so I'm going to remove the curve. And let's change the color of the background to be the purple. I like the purple there. Change purple. And then the text itself, let's change that to be black because I think that'll just work. Yes, see how that pops? And then we're going to make that black and we're going to edit and be like tap to but I'm going to click on tap because I think I'll put it in there and be like 2. And then we'll go back to start. Perfect. And then I'm going to shrink that down. And I might not even need the button, really. And let's say we add a border and make the border also purple. What do you think? Does that look okay? Let's get rid of the border, actually. Let's get rid of it, and we'll just have this. Perfect. So now I've got this, and I want to animate it. So I'm going to select my squiggle. I'm going to click on animate, and this one would be perfect for wiggle because it's a squiggle. And I'm going to click on my little gear icons, and I can adjust the intensity. I don't want it to be too much, but I also want it to rotate. I want it to rotate counterclockwise. Perfect. And then I'm going to select the other squiggle and apply the same sort of effect. I'm going to adjust. I'm going to put on a rotate and I'll leave it to go clockwise. Adjust. And so all I do is go around and select individual items and change. So this tap one, instead of that, I think I want it to kind of pulsate so we know to tap the screen. So we've got pulse. Yes, that's perfect. So if we click on that, and then we're going to click on the start, and it is called Pulse. Perfect. So I'm going to select some other shapes and I'm going to apply the pulse function. I'm going to change the intensity because I don't want it to be too much. And I'm just going to go through and I think... Can I apply the pulse to the group? I'm not sure if I can. I can. Perfect. Oh yeah, because that's done there. And the pulse just works really well, I think, for this kind of 90s retro look. So you want to make sure you are on the group. So if you're having that issue, go in here and select the layer and then go animate. And then we're going to go pulse. Perfect. And look, you can always select the same thing and then just go through and change the speed and variance later. So wiggle. Let's go wiggle. I want that to be rotate maybe. I want this to be... What can I have it? Neon? Maybe flicker? Nah, neon's more 80s, isn't it? Let's go wiggle. And I think I'll keep the lines on the back, the yellow lines, without moving. It just gives some sort of grounding to it. So that is basically how I would build my animated screen. So if we play this, there we go. And that's got some animation. It draws in your guest's attention. 5 seconds, I think, is all you really need for audio. What I would do when it comes to audio, again, Canva has some amazing, amazing things here. I can type in here, and let's go 90s, and then we'll click on audio and see what there is. Now, we don't want anything really with copywriting words or anything. We just want kind of the sounds. So let's click some. And we can just go through and check what we kind of like. 90s workout, that might be nice. Nope, I think the first one, the arcade coins, let's have it. So I'm gonna add that. So I'm going to drag that under here. Perfect. Now, the thing that I really do think is important when it comes to my screens is I want it to have some music, some instructions that are kind of quirky, and then I want it to be silent, and then it loops again. So 5 seconds, but then I want 5 seconds where it's quiet, so I will then change this to 10 seconds. And then I want the song, I want that to only go to 5, so we'll adjust it down here. 4.9 is fine. And fade, I want it to fade out over 5 milliseconds. So let's have a look and see what that's like. I'll play it. Perfect. Now it goes silent, and then I can have the text to go over it. Now, when I do text, I usually use ChatGPT to kind of come up with the text ideas. So I'll jump into that now and show you how I do that. Okay, so in ChatGPT, I will then go through here and come up with some prompts. Now, the prompts are the hardest part on getting the prompt right to be helpful. People think that AI just does all the work for you, but it's completely false. So in here, I'm going to write, what are some fun start-up scripts, important scripts because it's going to be spoken, that I can use for my photo booth 90s theme at the start screen telling guests to tap to start. Enter. So you can see here, it's now generating that for me. And this is the prompt. I do apologise, but it does cut off a little bit on my screen. But this is what I kind of come up with. So it's telling me gaming inspired, blow on the cartridge and tap to start. That's kind of cool. Insert disc 1 or just tap to start. Wine type. Press A to begin. Jokes, just tap to start. Player 1 ready, tap to begin. So you can see I've got some really cool ideas here, like as if you'd miss this moment, tap to start. So it's kind of like Clueless. It's really, really helpful to come up with the ideas of what I want to do. So let's have a look. Let's get jiggy with it. There's quite a few on there. Let's have a look. Say cheese, do your thing, start, no. I like player 1 ready, tap to begin. Or press A to begin. Joking, just tap to start. Maybe player 1 ready, tap to begin. So I'm going to use this for my screen to see what I can kind of do in here. So I want that to be the audio here. So I'm going to now put that in my AI of choice, which is 11 Labs. Now 11 Labs is a paid subscription to be able to get customization. Highly recommend it. You don't have to. There's other ways to do it. You could read it yourself if you really want to. If you've got a friend that you want to do it, definitely look at doing that. But I'm going to jump into 11 Labs now and show you how that looks. Okay, so here I am in 11 Labs. So you have the option of you can clone your voice, you can design a voice, add sound effects, everything like that. But what I do is I go up over here and I go to my text to speech. And you can see I've already pasted that one in there, but I want to find the right voice. So I go to my voices here and I can go through and listen to all these different voices. So if I click on one,
I have never been hurt by anything.
Doesn't sound really 90s. So I'll try again.
The world is round.
No.
As we are liberated from our...
No.
Yesterday's home runs. A wise man will make...
So you want to go through, and the reason we don't generate it to then click through, because if I started generating on all these different voices, it's actually going to use my credits, and I don't want that.
If opportunity...
No.
The ballot is stronger.
No.
In seed time, learn.
A wise man will make more...
So it's really just about trying to find...
There is no greater harm than that of time wasted.
Not what we have, but
the right voice.
A man is not old. It is not so important.
The world is round, and the place which may seem...
No.
The years teach much.
One today is worth two.
It's really hard.
I'd rather regret the things.
It's really hard to find the right voice that you want to use. So I will go through here until I find a voice that I like. If I don't find one, then I can purchase one or record it myself.
our distrust is...
I tend to usually use, I think, the female voices just because they kind of have that voice where they draw attention. So obviously with our photo booths, we're wanting people to come and use them, right? We're wanting our guests to get their money worth. So we want them to hear it and be like, oh, what's that? And generally just the decibels that the female voice recordings have just kind of draw your attention in more, I guess.
I believe that we are...
It's just really personal preference, but...
There is no...
There was one that I thought I saw before called Brian, I think, or was it Bill?
As we are liberated...
One today is worth...
It is not so important.
If you do what you've always done, you'll get what you've always gotten.
I think Paul's voice, it's listed here, as you can see, as news, and it gives you more tags as to what it's there, but I think Paul would be quite good.
If you do what you've always done, you'll get what you've always gotten.
So if I use this, it's now lotted his voice down the bottom here. So if you look down in the bottom of the screen, you can see it's got Paul, preview voice. So if I click preview.
If you do what you've always done, you'll get what you've always gotten.
So now I'm going to generate, and this will use some of my credits. You can see how much credits I've got here. 9,638 credits. It'll cost me 29 credits to generate this. I'm fine with that. So I'll go generate.
Player 1 ready. Tap to begin.
That's fine. And then I just download. Download as an MP3. That is cool. Now I'm going to go back into my Canva. So back into Canva, that's going to download. I'm going to go to my uploads. I'm going to upload this. So I'm going to go audio, upload file, download. It's going to be this one, open. Probably want to rename it once it's uploaded if I can. No, I usually do relabel it before I upload, but now I can put it here in mid. I'm going to click on the audio and I'm going to adjust, the speaker volume, and I'm going to balance all. And now if I play.
Player 1 ready. Tap to begin.
And that's how I kind of create my start screen, guys. I will create another video next on how I do the templates and photos to stay in with this theme. So if you want to see how I do that, please like and subscribe to this channel to keep up to date with all things photo booth and graphic design and tips and tricks for your small business. Thanks so much. I am the Nightly Photo Booth creator, Gabriel, and peace out.
So tell me what you want, what you really, really want. I'll tell you what I want, what I really, really want.